This game is brought to you by Piatt's Bakery in Perrysburg.
All the good sports are on WSPD. The game of the week.
Good afternoon, fans, but it's now turned to evening. Has it not, Tom Gateau, as the sun has well gone behind? And as a matter of fact, when you stop and think about it, we didn't have very much sun today at all as the day got progressively worse. But, Tom, as we look out over the field, even though it is wet, right now we're being blessed because it is not raining at this point. And there is rain in the forecast for later on tonight and tomorrow. So perhaps the weatherman will cooperate. We've got a great crowd on hand. They're still coming in. There are some seats across the far side, the visitors' side. But here on the home side, the stands are just about packed. This is homecoming, Tom Gateau.
Homecoming 1979 for the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets in their encounter, Northern Lakes League encounter with the 1978 league champs Lake High School. Lake High School comes into this game with a 2-3 record, having lost the last 3 games to Genoa, Springfield, and last week to Anthony Wayne. They open up the season with a 14-13 win over Eastwood and a 13-0 victory over Woodmore. Perrysburg, on the other hand, is 5-0 with victories over Genoa, Eastwood, and Macomber, Bowling Green, and last week a squeaker over Springfield. Comparative scores certainly would give the nod to Perrysburg with their victories over Genoa, Eastwood, and Springfield. Lake, no question about it, Jerry, has suffered from the loss of the Russell brothers and some of those other fine seniors last year. Perrysburg is always a very tough ball club. They had some injuries last year. They certainly have to be looked at, along with Maumee and Anthony Wayne, as possible league champs this year. This is a very big game for both schools. Obviously for Perrysburg to keep their record unblemished, and for Lake to get back into the victory column. We caught the toss of the coin, and I do believe, Jerry, Perrysburg won the toss, elected to receive. Lake will kick off and defend the west goal. So we'll give you the Perrysburg starting offensive lineup. At split end, number 41, David Neal, a senior. At left tackle, 77, Andy Hufford, a junior. Left guard, 67, Jim Jacoby, a junior. At center, number 62, Glenn Sutton, a senior. At right guard, number 66, Steve Morgan, a junior. Right tackle, number 79, Tom Dunbar, a senior. Alternating at tight end, number 83, Rob Hull, a senior, and number 84, Stan Dennis, a sophomore. At quarterback, number 7, Steve Pheasant, a senior. Alternating at tailback, number 26, Greg Gomminger, a junior, and number 42, Jim Priest, a sophomore. The fullback is number 33, Greg Como, a senior. And the wingback is number 25, Barry Johnston, a junior. For Lake High School, on defense, at left end, number 31, Wes Scott, a junior. At left tackle, number 75, Larry Nicely, a junior. At right tackle, number 60, Randy Karras, a junior. At right end, number 66, Brent Farley, a senior. At the outside linebacker to the tight end side, number 77, Todd Robson, a junior. At the left inside linebacker, 76, Lance Taylor, a senior. At right inside linebacker, 74, Gus Cannon, a junior. At the outside linebacker, the split end side, number 10, Chris Abbey, a junior. At one of the defensive halfbacks, number 20, Kevin Hughes, a senior. At the free safety, number 40, Mark Patton, a sophomore. And at the other defensive halfback, number 85, Gary Baker, a senior.
As you can tell by the crowd, and our crowd mic right out, very close to the crowd, the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets out onto the field in their black jerseys, the gold helmets, the gold pants, the gold numerals. The Lake Flyers across the way in their all-white uniforms with the blue helmets and the blue trim. Perrysburg Marching Band moving down to the sideline and onto the running track that surrounds the field here. They've had the preliminary toss of the coin, and if we are able to ascertain properly, Perrysburg won the toss and will be indeed receiving. Perrysburg, Tom Gateau, in their uniforms look a little bit like the Black Knights of the Hudson. Army colors, eh?
A lot like them, Coach.
The Lake Flyers, the defending Northern Lakes League champions. As Tom said, Perrysburg, #1 in Region 6 in the state computer poll with 40 computer points. And obviously every game is a very big one for the Jackets right now on their march to not only a Northern Lakes League championship, but perhaps a trip to the state tournament. Perrysburg, incidentally, AA. We're about set ready for this football game then, and the Lake Flyers indeed will be kicking off. Perrysburg moving left to right across your dial as we get this one underway on our game of the week. And of course tomorrow, we remind you on WSPD Radio, we'll have for you the University of Toledo Bowling Green game beginning at 1 o'clock with kickoff at 1:30 from Droid Perry Field. Had an interesting time last night, Tom. The Smoker, the varsity T of UT, and the varsity letter winners of Bowling Green, a little get together, and today the combined downtown coaches Falcon Club luncheon.
A lot of lies were told last evening.
Yes, and as well today. Lance Taylor kicking off for Lake. This game's about set to get underway. Here's the approach, and a low end-over-end type of thing. Squibs around at the 15-yard line, picked up, fumbled, picked up again, hit, and bounced around, and finally down. They'll say up around the 20-25-yard line. Not much of a run back, if any, as a matter of fact, down that by Perrysburg. That was Stan Dennis. He fumbled that ball back around the 20-yard line, was able to get it out to the 25, then they pushed him back to about the 22, but they're going to give him the 25-yard line, first down and 10 yards to go now.
We'll be seeing Perrysburg run out of various formations of the I.
Well, Pheasant is your quarterback, and they'll line up in what amounts to a slot left in the backfield. Open field is to the left from the 25-yard line. A dive play over the left side into the 25 into about the 28-yard line. And that's about it. It closed down in a great big hurry in that backfield for Perrysburg. Pheasant, Barry Johnston, Gaminger, Como's back there. Priest will be alternating in there. Davey Neal is the split end, and the tight end is Rob Hall. They get second down and about 7 at the 28-yard line of Perrysburg, and again they line up slot left in the backfield. Pheasant is your quarterback, marking out the signals. First man over the left side, and he hits to about the 30, and that is all. On the charts that time was Barry Johnson, but there wasn't much there.
The Lake Flyers are using a variation of the Notre Dame split 6, 4-man front with 4 linebackers, but we'll be seeing those linebackers move in and out of the line of scrimmage. We'll see a linebacker get down on all fours and become a down person in that defensive scheme.
Third and just about 5 yards to go. Como is your fullback. Wide receivers right and left. Pheasant. Aptions down the line, pitches back, fumble in the backfield. He picks it back up, runs straight ahead, and he's down, short of that first down. Ooh. That brought the Perrysburg fans to their feet for just a moment across the far side of the field as he fumbled that ball back there on the pitchback option down the line from Pheasant. They got it out to the 34-yard line, but they come up a yard short. It'll be 4th and a yard, and it appears that Perrysburg's going to get it out of there right now with the punt.
Perrysburg was fortunate, Jerry, as you mentioned, because that ball bounced right back up into his hands, and he almost got the first down.
Suited to 20, gets the snap, he gets the kick away. High one. It's out around the 50, gets a Perrysburg roll to the 40, to the 35, and it's down right there, 1st and 10 for Lake. WSPD Toledo, 1370 on your dial, your station for sports. Perrysburg High School as we look out over I-75. And we look at a beautiful harvest moon, I might add, with some cloud cover streaking in front of it. It's quite a sight. No rain right now, and that's good news. Hockenberger is your quarterback for the Lake Flyers now. In their white uniforms, they'll run out of a wishbone tee. Open field is to the press box side. Long call. And he runs the option to the short side of the field. 35 to about the 36 or 7. Hockenberger, the ball carrier, one down under his own power. No one there to make the hit, really. And so on the play, about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for Lake at their own 36. There's no score. We're just underway from Perrysburg High. 9 minutes to go, first quarter.
Hockenberger, a sophomore, took over when Benji Wagner broke his hand in the Genoa game, causing a shift in the offensive scheme of things for the Lake Flyers. We'll touch on that just in a short time, Jerry.
Scott and Patton are back there. It's the wishbone tee. Open field is to the left. And he gives to his second man. He bounces off one and shoved back inside of the 34-yard line. Running the football was Hughes, but there was nothing there as he closed down the right side in a great big hurry, I'll tell you. They say that Perrysburg's not very big defensively, but they'll hit you. Down Whitner on the tackle. He got it back to the initial line of scrimmage, make it 3rd and 9. Lake at their own 36 on the far hash mark. And they'll move out of it and send West out wide to the left. Wishbone tee in the backfield. Hockenberger is your quarterback. Here's that 3rd down play now. Short side of the field, trying to skirt the corner, 35, spins to the 40, and straight ahead to about the 42 or 3-yard line goes Patton. But that's going to be short of the first down by about 3 yards. And on the tackle for the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets, Steve Pheasant, who goes both ways, a starting quarterback, and plays in that secondary. They're going to spot it, the 43. So it's 4th down and about 2.5 yards to go for that first down.
As I was mentioning, Jerry, they've gone from a Houston Veer type offense, split backs, to a 3-back offense in that backfield.
Robson back to punt at his 30-yard line. Waiting for the snap, and he gets it. And he takes his time and gets a pretty good high kick out of there. Back to the 15-yard line and trying to get outside and upfield and hit and spun and down and around is Davy Neal. Good downfield pursuit that time, and the first man there to get him for Lake was Dan Cannon. So it'll be first down and 10 yards to go now for Perrysburg, and this time they'll work it from their own 19-yard line.
Perrysburg, as I mentioned, runs out of the I. We'll see them run I wing, I slot, pro formation out of the I. Run their tail back a great deal, Jerry.
7:13 remaining here in the first quarter, no score. Now Pheasant splits his setbacks about 3 yards. He's got Como back there. And Pheasant gives on the dive play over the right side to the first man. That is Gumminger, and he got it across the 20 to about the 21, and that hole closed down in a great big hurry. And the first man there to hit him for the Lake Flyers was Wes Scott. They'll actually sweat the ball at the 21, so give them a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. Second down, 8 yards to go. Perrysburg moving left to right across Judea. There's no score. 6:35 remaining first quarter. And now Pheasant lines him up in the I formation. Priest is in there now at a fullback. And he options back to Como at the 20, at the 25, and upfield and hit and bounced out of bounds. That was Gomminger. Pardon me, I said Como. He was knocked out of bounds by Kevin Hughes. That's a first down at the 30.
First down of the ball game, Jerry, and it was a very well executed option play running out of the split backs.
Clock is stopped with the out of bounds play. 6:23 to go first quarter, no score. Perrysburg undefeated. Out wide to the right is Johnson. Now it's a variation of the wing tee. Pheasant calling signals. He's back to throw on first down. Sideline left man there, completed out of bounds into the Perrysburg sideline. And on the reception for the Yellow Jackets, Rob Hall, the tight end. Coming up and defending on the play for Lake was Kevin Hughes. However, there's a pickup on the play from the 30 to about the 33. Give him 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Quick out pattern, Jerry. Very effective against a defensive secondary. Dropped off considerably.
Mike Ryan out wide to the left. It is an I in the backfield. Priest is your fullback, and coming to the ball carrier, and he's hit and brought down. Nice defensive play that time. Coming to the ball carrier, but an excellent defensive play.
Like Brent Farley, the right defensive end, ninth in there to trip him up.
Got about a yard, Tom. It'll be 3rd down and just about 7 yards to go at the 33-yard line of Perrysburg. Now split backs. Pheasant open field to the left. Calling signals, long count, drops back to throw. Quick out pattern, incomplete, thrown behind the intended receiver, Barry Johnson, 5'10", 165 at a junior. That'll bring up a 4th down punting situation here for the Jackets.
That ball was thrown behind him, as you mentioned, Jerry, but Barry had no opportunity to grab the ball because he slipped on the slippery grass.
And back to do the punting for Perrysburg. Then will go Jay Swede. And deep here for Lake will come Mark Patton, the deep man. And the up man is number 85, and wouldn't you know it? Spiraling kick, short, Hits at the 40, rolls toward the Perrysburg goal line, and dead right there at the 42.
Number 85 is Gary Baker, Jerry.
Thank you. And so it's first down, 10 yards to go for the Lake Flyers as the two teams jockey here for field position. And right now, Lake has picked up some yardage here on the exchange of punts. It's at the 41-yard line, they say, between the hashes. 5:24 remaining first quarter. There's no score. And out wide to the right is Baker. Wishbone tee. Hockenberger is your quarterback. And Hockenberger keeps the football, has some blocking in front, but he can't get away from one man, and then hit and brought down hard by John Sweet and Jim Heilman. Well, and there was a fumble on the play, and it was recovered by Perrysburg. There was a fumble on the play.
Like Greg Como came up with that fumble, Jerry.
Well, there's the first break in the football game as the Jackets take it over now at the 39-yard line of Lake. There's the first break.
That time, Perrysburg, out of their 5-man front, stemmed into a 6-man alignment, shot the gaps, got into the backfield long before Lake could get their offense going.
Gallagher and Como in there at the setbacks, and now Lake, I believe, wants a timeout. Hold on a second. Let's see. Yep, there is a timeout on the field with a score. Perrysburg nothing, Lake nothing.
Right now at Aga Interiors and Imports, you can save 20% off all upholstered furniture during the Pennsylvania House Fall Sale. 20% off elegantly styled wing chairs, sofas, and graceful love seats. 20% off convenient coordinated sleep sofas. Everything can be yours in a choice of 800 beautiful fabrics, and most can be delivered in time for Christmas if you order now. So come in now during the Pennsylvania House Fall Sale and get your free collector's book at Aga Interiors and Imports in Perrysburg.
For over 46 years, the Lorraine Oil Company has served northwestern Ohio as the distributor for Pennzoil, the asked-for motor oil because it's worth asking for. The Lorraine Oil Company, like high school football, is a great tradition in northwestern Ohio. Trust Pennzoil products from Lorraine. Dial 352-1633 in Bowling Green or 691-3545 in Toledo. The Lorraine Oil Company and high school football, two great traditions in northwestern Ohio.
All right, at the 39-yard line now of the Lake Flyers, and Pheasant fakes, look, bomb, downfield, man, there it is, complete. Great catch, great throw. What a job, little pump job. And he hit his wide receiver, or wingback, if you will, Barry Johnson, who is streaking down the left sideline. And what an outstanding catch as he was fully extended, Coach, when he made the grab and came down to the gridiron and held on. That's great concentration.
A super pass, too, by Steve Pheasant. Just laying that ball right in there.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Now the Jackets in real business here. They line up in a slot left of the backfield. Gomminger is in there at tailback, and Como, and it goes to Gomminger at the 10, and he's ridden down there at about the 9. Give him a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. Middle of that Lake line, in on the tackle of the first man there to get him was Todd Robson, or Robson, if you will, 6'3", 220 pounds junior, tackle tight end, as they put it here on the spotting sheet.
Jerry, you know, it's interesting. Every time we have seen a turnover, the offensive team comes back on the field and tries to capitalize by going for the bomb. This time, Perrysburg succeeded.
They line up in a hurry now. Pheasant at the 9. Short side of the field, Gomminger. 10. Hit and down at about the 8-yard line. And boy, that closed down in a big hurry. Chris Abbey was the first man there to get him for Lake.
Super hit by the right inside linebacker, Gus Cannon, as well. He came from his position and really lowered the blocks on the ball carrier, Gomminger.
At about the 8-yard line now, where it is 3rd down. At about 6.
They can make a first down.
Yes, they can.
At about the 2-yard line.
That's exactly right, Tom. And they'll line up now in a I formation. Pheasant calling signals. He keeps it, pitches back to Gomminger at the 10, at the 5, at the 4, at the 3. It's a touchdown. Gomminger goes the 8 yards on the option to the right side. And Perrysburg has gone up on top by the score of 6-0, capitalizing on the Lake fumble at the Lake 39. You know, that fumble had us for a moment, Tom, because there was a wave of white out in front of the quarterback, Hockenberger, and you thought the play was dead, and before you knew it, the Perrysburg going wild. They had recovered. Here's the point try coming up. 6-0. Ball down. Kick is in the air. He's got the distance. It is good. Time out on the field with a score of Perrysburg 7, Lake 0.
What is your goal in life? A fabulous vacation? College educations for your children? That dream home you've only thought about? Well, these aims can become reality a lot quicker with an active savings account at Maumee Perrysburg Home Federal. By making regular deposits and receiving the highest legal interest rates, your dollars will soon add up to achieve those goals. And earnings are computed and compounded daily, paid to you quarterly. Start planning today to turn your dreams into reality with an active savings account at Maumee Perrysburg Home Federal. Right now at Aga Interiors and Imports, you can save 20% off all upholstered furniture during the Pennsylvania House Fall Sale. 20% off elegantly styled wing chairs, sofas, and graceful love seats. 20% off convenient coordinated sleep sofas. Everything can be yours in a choice of 800 beautiful fabrics, and most can be delivered in time for Christmas if you order now. So come in now during the Pennsylvania House Fall Sale and get your free collector's book at Aga Interiors and Imports in Perrysburg.
And the kickoff is booted around at the 15 to the 20 to the 25, and upfield to the 30. Oh, look out! Hughes at the 40 and down at the 48-yard line of Perrysburg. He almost broke it all the way. Tom, you'll see that happen very often on a kickoff or what have you, where the deep back will bobble around a little bit, and it kind of breaks down the onrushing lineman, and he finds a seam, and boy, he scooted.
Well, you're very correct there, Jerry. And that time, Don Whitner, who kicked off, was the safety man, and he did his job well. He hung in there, was on balance, and made a fine open field tackle.
It's at the 48-yard line of Peaburg now, and they are now operating out of a slot right in the backfield. Hockenberger is your quarterback, gives to his first man over the right side. He's got a couple of yards to about the 46-yard line, and that's it. Patton's in there, Scott at the running backs. The middle of that Perrysburg line in on the tackle. The first man there to get him for the Jackets, Glenn Sutton. He's 6'2" and a senior. Give him a couple of yards. It'll be second out, 8 yards to go now at the 46-yard line of Perrysburg on the far hash mark as the Flyers move right to left and trail 7-0. One break in the game, and the Jackets capitalize. Slot right in the backfield. Hockenberger is your quarterback. Open field is to the left. And he hands to his wingman, and Katie by the door. Oh, no fooling Don Whitner that time. From his wingback position, Kevin Hughes found nothing but a black shirt and gold pants.
Great penetration by the middle guard, Jay Swede, and right tackle, Don Whitner. They stemmed out of their normal position into the gaps, and the Lake Flyers failed to block their inside gaps, thereby causing that loss on that option, or really was a counter play.
Slot right again, and it's third down and 9 now. Back at the 47 at Perrysburg, and back to throw the football. Hockenberger, he's got a lot of time. Throws it up in the air for grabs, and it is complete and down. And give it on the reception to Kevin Hughes. Boy, he threw that into a crowd. Believe me, there were 3-4 black shirts around it, but somehow Hughes went high in the air between everybody and brought it right down there at the 31 or 2-yard line, and that's a 1st and 10.
Fine toss by Hockenberger and a super catch by Hughes in traffic, as you mentioned, Jerry.
We're going to call it the 31-yard line at Perrysburg now. They'll run out of what amounts to an I formation now. Hockenberger, open field is to the left of the press box side here. He goes short side field at the 35 and to about the 31-yard line, and that is it. Running the football, Mark Patton, the left side of that line, closed down quickly for the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets, and the first man there to get him was Jay Swede. Got it back to about the line of scrimmage, the 31 of Perrysburg, where it's 2nd and 10. Only 45 seconds remaining first quarter, 7-0 in favor of the Jackets. As they capitalized on the break, the fumble by Lake went in. From 8 yards out to score, the extra point good, and they lead 7-0. Twin flankers are left, I in the backfield, short side to I-75. Back to throw, setting up, looking deep, ball in the air, and it's incomplete. He had it for a moment, and he dropped it. That was the big tight end, Gary Baker, went high in the air at about the 21-yard line in first down territory. Ball went off his fingertips and then almost intercepted.
David Neal, the free safety, had a golden opportunity to get that ball on the tip, but it slipped off his hands as well.
Clock is stopped with 24 seconds to go. The ball is on the far hash mark. First time I've ever set a field with a highway. Short side is to I-75. All right, they're moving right to left, and Pheasant back there in the defensive secondary. Ockenberger pulls back to throw. They're coming. He sets up a little flare pass, and look out, spinning away at the 35. And he splits away from one man at the 30. Still running down the far sideline. Cuts inside and out of bounds. Almost inside the 10 and down to about the 7-yard line goes Mr. Mark Patton. What a great job of eluding a tackle all the way back here at about the 45-yard line, Tom Gateau.
The Perrysburg defense played that screen very well, with the exception of making the tackle. The defensive end was prepared to make the tackle on Patton. He slipped that tackle. There was a linebacker coming up. He sidestepped him, broke a tackle. A fine individual effort by Mark Patton as they're on the 7-yard line, 1st and goal.
And they go back to the wishbone tee. And now that may end the quarter, and it does. That is the end of the first quarter with a score of Perrysburg 7, Lake nothing.
For over 46 years, the Lorraine Oil Company has served northwestern Ohio as the distributor for Pennzoil, the asked-for motor oil because it's worth asking for. The Lorraine Oil Company, like high school football, is a great tradition in northwestern Ohio. Trust Pennzoil products from Lorraine. Dial 352-1633 in Bowling Green or 691-3545 in Toledo. The Lorraine Oil Company and high school football, two great traditions in northwestern Ohio.
If you're starting to think about a retirement plan, now's the time to consider opening an active savings account at Mommy Perrysburg Home Federal. With a savings account, your dollars will add up over the years, and by the time of retirement, you'll have a nice little sum saved up. At Mommy Perrysburg Home Federal, savings accounts earn 5.5% interest, the highest allowed by law. And earnings are computed and compounded daily, paid to you quarterly. Your retirement years can be filled with financial security when you plan ahead with a savings account at Mommy Perrysburg Home Federal.
We start the second quarter. 1st and goal, Lake at the Perrysburg 7. The Flyers trail 7-0. It's the wishbone tee. Open field is to the right. Ockenberger sets him down. Long count. He pitches back here at the 10, trying to get outside. And down at about the 7-yard line goes Patton. Good pursuit that time by the Jackets, and getting over to make the initial hit was Greg Como. Got it back to about the line of scrimmage.
Greg Como, the left defensive tackle, just sprinted to the opposite side of the field and tracked him down. Super defensive play. Looked like he was going to be able to turn the corner. Got an official's timeout here. Jerry looks for like some equipment problems.
Yep. Tom, I'll tell you, you haven't, we're not quite halfway in the season. I don't think you've missed one yet.
Now, give me time.
All right. 11:43 to go on the half. It's 7-0 in favor of Perrysburg. Right now, it's a great night for football. It's a crisp fall evening and no rain in sight. What happened to that big moon that was up there? The cloud cover came in, didn't it? It is gone.
Well, that might mean that with the clouds comes some rain. Hopefully, it will hold off until the end of this football game. Don't want to mar any of the homecoming festivities. Working on a Lake player. It's like they're exchanging some of his equipment.
Well, he's sitting down, and now he's going to be helped up. I don't know if he got shaken up. I believe he got shaken up on the play. He's a little wobbly.
He brought out a different shoe.
That's number 60 for Lake, Randy Karras. Now he's trotting off under his own power. Appears like he's going to be all right. That's good news.
Wonder why they were carrying that shoe around, Jerry. Maybe that they used it to revive him.
Oh, good. 2nd down and 7, or 2nd and goal, if you will, at the 7-yard line of Perrysburg. Here's the wishbone tee. Ockenberger is your quarterback, and he sets that line down. It's unbalanced to the left. And a pitch back here. Here's the tailback pass. He's in trouble. He better unload. He's going to run the football, and he's out of bounds. And Patton back here at about the 12-yard line. Great pressure again put on. Jay Swede was the first man there. That was the tailback pass coming up, but there was nobody open. And so there's a loss from the 7 back to about at the 11. A 4-yard loss on the play, so it's 3rd and goal at the 11.
There was no element of surprise, Jerry. The Yellow Jackets were well prepared. Obviously, good scouting by the coaching staff. Great pressure on Mark Patton and good coverage in the secondary.
Scott Welch is in with a play for Lake. Twin flankers are out wide to the left and in that tandem. Welch, one of them, high in the backfield. Hockenberger calling signals. Open field left. Lake moves left to right. He rolls back to run a throw. Sets up. Pumps. Unloads up for grabs in the end zone, and it's stopped. Oh, he had it and he dropped it. Unbelievable. He had it and he dropped it.
Fine pattern. Right. Boy, it was. Welch. He ran a little Z out. Ran into the end zone on a diagonal and then cut out towards the sideline. And Hockenberger, another fine pass by the sophomore quarterback, laid it right in there, and Mr. Welch just could not hang on.
And it appears that the Flyers are going to go for it on a 4th and goal at the 11. No field goal attempt here. Clock is stopped with 11 minutes remaining first half. It's 7-0 Perrysburg. And again, twin flankers left. This time, Kevin Hughes out there as Welch is out. High in the backfield. He'll alternate at the split receiver. Hockenberger barks it out. And he rolls back to run or throw. Looking in trouble. Being flushed out. Gets away from one. Now he's sacked and brought down. The ball is stolen by a lineman, and down he goes. Como stole the football. Took it right away from Hockenberger, the quarterback, who's down.
And he was really leveled by the two of the on-rushing Perrysburg linemen. Looked like Don Whitner really leveled him. And he is hurt. Hopefully just the wind knocked out of him.
It's at the 20-yard line. Well, Hockenberger did a great job of dancing in there for a slight moment or two, but you can't dance around there too long or you're going to find a partner from the opposite side, and that he did.
He looked to his left, Jerry, and everything was covered over there. Sidestepped the player, then looked to his right, looked like he might have an opportunity to throw, but again, Don Whitner would have none of it. And it did appear to me, Jerry, that the ball popped out of Hockenberger's hands, and Como scooped it up.
And got it back out to the 20-yard line, where it's 1st and 10 for Perrysburg. Hockenberger is up. Looks like he's going to be all right. 6 foot 160 pound. Just a sophomore. Being assisted off the field, but he's, if anything, he looks like he's a little sore, Tom.
Well, Lake High School cannot afford to have him injured. With experiencing Benji Wagner's broken hand injury against Genoa. They think he might be able to be back in a couple weeks, but without those two young men in there, the Lake offense will really be shut down.
Well, the ball is at the 20 of Perrysburg. They lead 7-0. And they'll come out with an eye in the backfield. Pheasant is your quarterback. Then they go to a slot, actually. Man in motion is to the left of the press box side. And there's a option play or a keeper by the quarterback, Pheasant, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40. Still running and brought down from behind. All the way out over the 45 to about the 46 or 7-yard line, where making the tackle was Wes Scott. That gets him out of a hole and puts the ball out at the Perrysburg 44-yard line. They say his knee went down there.
Fine open field running and broken field running by Steve Pheasant, who is in his 2nd year as a starter at quarterback.
He's 6 foot 175 and a senior. Been around for a while. Slot left in the backfield. Open field is to the right. Or to I-75. And there's a hand off to the tailback. Amager, 45. Turns the corner and down at about the 49. Ridden right down there into the Perrysburg bench by Dale West of Lake. Pretty good pickup on the play, however, from the 44 out to the 49 of about 5. It'll be 2nd and just about 5 yards to go.
That's the bread and butter play of the power I offense, or I-back offense, Jerry, is power off tackle with the fullback kicking the end out, double team with a tight end and tackle to the play side.
The Jackets move out into a slot right in the backfield now. Pheasant sends his man in motion. He slipped and got up all right, and a handoff straight ahead and about the 50-yard line, maybe the 49-yard line. Running the football was Gomminger.
We have a flag, Jerry.
And we've got a flag on the play, and apparently a legal procedure against Perrysburg. As I said, the man in motion, Barry Johnson, slipped in the backfield and got between the quarterback and the fullback, got himself up righted, and then continued in motion. However, a flag thrown. And they're talking to Lake right now. 10 minutes remaining first half. It's 7-0 Perrysburg. Tonight's game brought to you by the Lorraine Oil Company, AGA Interiors, and Home Federal Savings and Loan of Maumee.
I think the reason for the penalty, Jerry, is the fact that the back in motion, the slot back, started to move towards the line of scrimmage before the snap of the ball.
Well, it was declined.
I don't understand that at all.
Well, the ball is at the 49 of Lake, where it is third down in about 4. A little less than 4 yards. Only one to move the down box. Eye in the backfield. Pheasant looks it over. Pheasant. Pop pass. Complete. Still running 40. 35 outside of the 30. Johnson at the 25. At the 20. At the 15. At the 10. At the 5. It is a touchdown. Barry Johnson. Any flags?
No flags. 49-yard touchdown play. Steve Pheasant to Mr. Johnston. Barry Johnston, who is the wingback. They were in a pro formation, Jerry. Barry Johnson was to the Perrysburg sidelines in a flanker position. He ran a little slant in. Steve Pheasant stood right up, fired a strike to him. He cut back against the green, ran to the far corner of the end zone, 49 yards for a touchdown.
Point try coming up. Steve Pheasant trying. Waiting for the snap, high snap, but again the kick is blocked. It is blocked by number 10, Chris Abbey. Timeout on the field with a score: Perrysburg 13, Lake nothing.
Right now at AGA Interiors and Imports, you can save 20% off all upholstered furniture during the Pennsylvania House Fall Sale. 20% off elegantly styled wing chairs, sofas, and graceful love seats. 20% off convenient coordinated sleep sofas. Everything can be yours in a choice of 800 beautiful fabrics, and most can be delivered in time for Christmas if you order now. So come in now during the Pennsylvania House Fall Sale and get your free collector's book at AGA Interiors and Imports in Perrysburg.
For over 46 years, the Lorraine Oil Company has served northwestern Ohio as the distributor for Pennzoil, the asked-for motor oil because it's worth asking for. The Lorraine Oil Company, like high school football, is a great tradition in northwestern Ohio. Trust Pennzoil products from Lorraine. Dial 352-1633 in Bowling Green or 691-3545 in Toledo. The Lorraine Oil Company and high school football, two great traditions in northwestern Ohio.
And Whitner on a short kickoff. It goes down to Patton at about the 25-yard line. He brings it straight up the middle to the 30 and to about the 35, maybe the 36-yard line, where he's hit and belted down there. And now the tackle, Jimmy King.
Jerry, the sign of a good football team is how well they capitalize on another team's mistakes. Twice, so Lake has fumbled, Perrysburg's recovered and gone in for a touchdown.
And let's see who the quarterback is. That's number 11. Brosia. Jim Brosia is the quarterback, and he hands. And Patton.
Another fumble.
Yeah, another fumble. I don't even know if they exchanged it. Perrysburg comes up with a football, and they've got it. They took it right away on the exchange. Number 61. That's Jay Swede. On the exchange between the quarterback, Jim Brosia, and Patton, Swede got in there and wrestled the ball away and just took it and said, "Look what I got."
Now there's a situation, Jerry, where you get a young man who has not practiced a lot at that position, working with backs who have not worked with him, and the timing was completely off, and a bad exchange, another turnover for Lake, another fine opportunity for the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets. Jay Swede, who recovered that fumble, the middle guard, is one of three brothers. Jay, his brother, who is also a junior, number 81, is a left end, and their younger brother, John, number 76, is the inside linebacker in the Perrysburg defense. And this is quite unusual to have three brothers playing not only on the same team but on the same defense, and they're doing a fine job for the Yellow Jackets, as their previous record indicated, with three shutouts: 34-0 over Eastwood, 14-0 over a surprisingly strong Macomber team, and a 6-0 shutout over Springfield, which quite honestly has really surprised some people with their victory over Bowser. But I guess Springfield is back to respectability, and we're happy to see that.
The ball is at the 34-yard line of Lake High School. The score is 13-0 in favor of Perrysburg. They've capitalized on 2 breaks. Here's the 3rd break of the football game, and let's see what Mr. Pheasant and company will do about it this time as he splits his setbacks. Open field is to the right. Pheasant, look-in pass, same play, touchdown, went the last time, complete to Johnson, but this time it's covered up, but not before. They get it inside the 25 to about the 22-yard line, and that'll be very close, and it is indeed a first down. Heavy on the tackle.
As long as they being Lake, give Perrysburg and Mr. Johnson as much cushion as he has in that secondary, they can run that play until the cows come home. They're going to have to make a defensive adjustment in their secondary.
I think I hear a bell out in the stands. A cowbell, that is. All right, slot right in the backfield. Pheasant with open field right. He sends a man in motion to the left. He gets to his tailback. Hold over the left side. Comminger straight ahead and let it go. Down inside the 15 and down to about the 10 and then still going to about the 7-yard line. Man, what a hole opened that time. Tom Gateau, and on the tackle was Lance Taylor for Lake, and now Perrysburg just starting to rip him up.
Really, student body left, Jerry. Out of the slot, they sent the slot back in motion, pulled the backside guard, trapped the end, led through with the slot back and the fullback, and fine running by Greg Gomminger.
Make it the 9-yard line. 1st and goal at the 9. Perrysburg on the move again. Gomminger outside, inside, and to about the 6th flag on the play.
Might have a hold, Jerry. That's what it is against Perrysburg.
Gomminger got the ball down to about the 7-yard line. Tackle was made by Hughes. However, a long discussion going on down there. It's 13-0 in favor of Perrysburg. 3 fumble recoveries by the Jackets. 2 have led to touchdowns, and now this time they had it 1st and goal, and that'll move the ball back out over the 20-yard line to the 23. And remember, it'll be goal to go. 1st and goal at the 23.
Now, again, another indicator of a fine football team is how well they can play over their mistakes.
Out wide to the right is Johnson. Out wide to the left comes number 41. That's Davy Neal. Pheasant's the quarterback, splits his setbacks, and he's dropping back to throw the football. He's hit and racked up and sacked back at the 30.
Randy Karras.
Sackaroo by Randy Karras.
Right defensive tackle came in there like a freight train. I don't even think anyone touched him.
He just teed off and came in hard at the 29, and it's 2nd and goal at the 29 of Lake.
I think that's an instance where they went to the well one too many times. Looked like they were trying to throw that slant in to Barry Johnson, and great pressure by the Lake defensive line.
And again, slot left of the backfield this time. Pheasant looks him over. The ball between the hash marks. They move right to left, and Pheasant spins around, looking, may have to run the option. He tries to get away. One man he does at the 40, at the 35, and down he goes. And out of bounds. And on the pursuit that time was Steve Honyak. And I'm going to wait until they bring it in. That's the 30. That's the 25 to the 24-yard line, they say, where his 3rd and goal at the 24. 7 minutes remaining in the first half, and it is 13-0 in favor of Perrysburg over Lake.
Now we might see a long pass here, Jerry, or something of an intermediate variety to get them close to field goal range.
Neal is left, Johnson right. Eye on the backfield, and Pheasant is your quarterback. Open field to the right side. Pheasant on the long count. He fakes options. Pitch back here. Neal on the sally at the 30, at the 25, outside at the 20, inside at the 15 and 10, and down he goes at about the 11-yard line. There was a pitch back to the wide receiver as he went to the far side of the field, turned the corner, and got some good running room down there to about the 12-yard line, where he was belted down there by Westcott. 4th down, remember, though. 4th and goal.
Kevin Hughes, Westcott certainly did a fine job in preventing that touchdown, Jerry. We've got a timeout on the field.
And we'll keep it here for a moment. Remind you that tonight's game brought to you by the Lorraine Oil Company, Home Federal Savings and Loan, and Agha Interiors, featuring Pennsylvania House Furniture here in Perrysburg. Nice to have them along tonight. The field is a little damp, but no rain. Cloudy, overcast. How can we tell? Well, we had a brilliant moon here at the outside of this football game, and now you can see where it has disappeared behind the clouds up there.
Just a thread of light peeking through that cloud cover. And again, we're keeping our fingers crossed so that there's no more rain to cause a quagmire here at the Perrysburg field. Not to indicate that there's anything wrong with it, but certainly would prevent these young men from playing their best. See what Coach Chuck Pratt has up his sleeve on a 4th down play. It's about 4th and, what is it?
Goal at the 12.
At the 12. Tough to, they don't have the yard line markers on this side. It's tough to figure that out.
Yeah, there's no hash mark, so we just kind of guessing along with the PA up here. All right, eye on the backfield. Open field is left. Desmond pulls back to run or throw. Unloads it. Man, they're complete. And down at about the 5-yard line. On the tackle was Patton. On the reception was Johnson. But that is a 4th down turnover. The football to Lake High, deep in their own territory at their own 5-yard line. Of course, Perrysburg got them pinned down in there. They lead 13-0.
Fine catch by Rob Hall, the tight end, running a slant out. On a sprint out, Steve Pheasant running to his left. He's right-handed, fired a strike, got it down to the 5, but could go no further. Lake will take over.
Rosia listed as a tight end, is in there at quarterback. He hands straight ahead to Patton, and he's hitting down at about the 4-yard line. A loss on the play of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11. On the tackle was Jim Heilman. Now, Jim Rosia is the quarterback. He is a senior, 5'10", 170, listed as a tight end. He's in at quarterback in place of the starter, Rick Ockenberger, who was shaken up and is out. 5:38, first half, clock running, 13-0 Perrysburg, and Lake, of course, can't get too fancy down in there. Well, they actually spotted the ball back at the 5, so it's 2nd and 10. Rosia calling signals, eye in the backfield. And he pitches back to Patton, trying to get outside, trying to run, and he can't. He got it out to the 5, and that's it. It'll be 3rd down. Of course, Perrysburg playing tough down in there. They want to keep him pinned back, make him punt and get good field position, maybe get one more on the scoreboard before halftime. The right side of that Perrysburg line close that sweep down in a hurry.
Now, this is a big play for the Perrysburg defense, because if they can force another error by the Lake Flyers, they're in super position to get another score.
Dennis, Whitner, Swede all in on that tackle. Rosia is the quarterback. He has them in split backs now at his 5. He fumbles the ball and falls on it right there at the 5. That'll bring up 4th down and 10.
That was a center quarterback exchange problem, Jerry. And, you know, you go back to that 4th down play where Chuck Pratt called that short pass to the tight end. If they score, fine. If they don't, that's not too bad either, because the Perrysburg defense has really been putting the clamps on Lake of late. So it affords them an opportunity to get into fine field position with this punt.
And back to do the punting then is Todd Robson, standing deep at his end zone. The block is on, and he had it partially blocked. It hits out here, picked up at the 30, coming back with the football is Neal at the 25, inside at the 20, and hit and spinning and still running the football and fumbles out of bounds.
Now we have a clip here.
Yeah, we got a clip back here at the 20-yard line, and he had it all the way down inside the 10 at about the 7.
Bring it back. That was a fine run by David Neal, who caught the ball on the first hop. It is a clip against Perrysburg. As I said, Jerry, David Neal caught that line drive kick that was almost blocked, caught that on the first hop, eluded one tackler, and ran down the near sideline and was knocked out of bounds about the 8, I believe. Or was it the 15? Excuse me. 8 or the 15. Looks like about the 8. I'll get it right yet, Jerry.
Take your time.
Anyway, when all is said and done, Perrysburg will have the ball and will take over on the Lake 35, or 34 and a half. I can't read the number.
You can't read those yard markers. We're going to get hashes out. We're going to have hash marks out here. I may come out and line them myself next week. All right, baby. Now we'll call it the 30 and keep it even at the Lake 30. There's a draw play up the middle of the big fullback, and he goes bowling straight ahead. And running the fullback was Como, the ball carrier, from the 30. And he got it to about the 26-yard line. There's on the tackle. They'll say the 30, pardon me, the 26. That is the 31. You got me doing it now.
Now I can see the 30-yard.
All right, it's at the 31. The initial line was the 35, pardon me. All right, it is second down and about 7. High in the backfield, and a fake to the short side. Pitch back here. Gummersaw, he fumbles the football, and who's got the hot potato? I believe Perrysburg recovered it, and they did. Gumminger recovered it along the sideline as it bounced out of bounds. And right there was Lance Taylor. He made a grab for it, but it was rolling out of bounds. And so the last player to touch it was a Jacket, and they retained possession. Now it's inside the 30 at the 27-yard line where it is third down and about 4. 2:45 to go in the first half. Splitbacks now. Pheasant with a third down. Of course, they're in 4-down territory at the 27 of Lake. Pheasant looking it over. A little pop pass coming up complete to the tight end at the 15, at the 10, at the 5, at the 4. It is a touchdown.
28-yard pass play, Jerry.
To Rob Hall.
That looked like a checkoff to me, Jerry, because Lake looked like they were going to send their linebackers. And Steve Pheasant stood straight up, little pop pass over the right side of the Lake line. And he gathered it in, broke one tackle, and raced into the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, that makes it 20-0 in favor of Perrysburg with, pardon me, 19. I'm being a little bit premature here, feeling that the extra point will be made. Well, we'll see. It's got to be executed yet. It's in the air, and it's good, and there's a timeout on the field with a score now. Perrysburg 20, Lake nothing.
With all the monthly expenses that crop up, it's a little hard to account for where the money goes these days. And if you're one of those people who always puts off saving for tomorrow, we may have just the solution to get yourself started on a good savings program. Pay yourself first. Make regular deposits at a savings account at Mommy Perrysburg Home Federal. Once you see those dollars adding up, you'll save with real determination because you'll soon be able to afford those special things you've always dreamed about. Start a savings account soon at Mommy Perrysburg Home Federal. Right now at Aga Interiors and Imports, you can save 20% off all upholstered furniture during the Pennsylvania House Fall Sale. 20% off elegantly styled wing chairs, sofas, and graceful love seats. 20% off convenient coordinated sleep sofas. Everything can be yours in a choice of 800 beautiful fabrics, and most can be delivered in time for Christmas if you order now. So come in now during the Pennsylvania House Fall Sale and get your free collector's book at Aga Interiors and Imports in Perrysburg.
There's a driving end-over-end kick by Whitner that hits at the 5 and squirts into the end zone by 3 yards. It'll be a touchback, 1st and 10 Lake at their own 20. Well, the Flyers certainly hampered offensively now with Rick Ockenberger, their quarterback, having gone down. It was a 7-0 football game when Lake stormed down and got it 1st and goal at the 7, only to find it and end up back at the 20-yard line. And on that play, on that 4th down play is when Ockenberger got crunched, and he has not been back in since. I've been looking for him along the sidelines with the binoculars, and I have not been able to pick him out. And your quarterback in there is Jim Brozia, and Jim is hit, and he never had a chance to even hand it off. Shooting the gap that time on a brilliant defensive play is all you can say. What a magnificent job by Jay Swede. Boy, he just took the step to turn, to hand, or pitch back, and he never had an opportunity.
Jay Swede, again, another junior starter who played at that middle guard position last year and very well. Shot the gap. Quarterback did not have a chance.
Loss of a couple of yards of the 18, where it is 2nd down and 12. Rosia hands off on there straight ahead. Running the football is Wes Scott. Fumble on the play, recovered by Perrysburg. 31-41, the closest there. That's Terrain, and
covered by Jay Swede.
Swede, okay.
The Swede brothers are kind of turning this thing into a monopoly. Now, Jerry, out there, I'm going to tell you, this is the 26-yard line.
No question about that. We got the 20-yard line spotted. Only a minute and 45 to go here in the half. It's 20-0 Perrysburg. They've capitalized on three breaks. And they'll line up in a slot left, and Pheasant is back to work. He sends Johnson in motion to the right, open field left. And he keeps it right down the line and straight ahead to about 25. Good tackle that time by Wes Scott.
We have a new quarterback in there, Jerry. It looks like Jim Heilman.
Jimmy Heilman is 5'10", 173, and a junior.
He's also a defensive short side halfback.
The ball is spotted just inside the 25. Let's call it the 25. It's closer there. Second down and about 8. 1 minute to go, half, 20-0 Perrysburg. So Heilman is your quarterback. And he lines him up in a slot left in the backfield. Heilman on the long count, open field left. And we have movement all over with no flags. He's flushed out, he's hit, and he's sacked, and he is going. Well, look at him drive, carrying a Lake Flyer with him. What a great effort that time. He carried Wes Scott about 4 yards ahead and got it back to the 23-yard line where it's third down. Third down and about 7. 40 seconds to go. Perrysburg wants to talk it over for a moment. Tonight's game brought to you by the Lorraine Oil Company, Agha Interiors, Perrysburg, and Home Federal Savings and Loan.
Well, Jerry, at this juncture, 40 seconds left in the half, Perrysburg would like to get some more points on the board, obviously, to kind of ice this game at halftime. And they have at least 2 more opportunities in terms of downs. If they can make a first down, that'll stop the clock. If they can work the sidelines, they might have 3, 4 opportunities to score.
Well, it is third down in about 6.
You can imagine how Coach Jim Smith of Lake feels with his second team quarterback going down Ackenberger after losing Benji Wagner a couple weeks ago, and now having to use a quarterback who probably has not seen much action at all.
Heilman back to work, eye in the backfield. And he goes to the short side, going to run upfield 25 at the 20 and hitting down at about the 19. That'll bring up a fourth down. First man there to get him for the Lake Flyers, Randy Karras. About the 19 where it's fourth down.
Looks like they're going to try...
Fourth and about 3. May try a field goal?
Well, either that or a punt. No, looks like a field goal.
Field goal attempt. That should be number 78 for Perrysburg. That's Bill Schoof. S-C-H-O-O-F. It is blocked. It's rolling. It's recovered down inside that 5 at about the 3-yard line by Lake. It was partially blocked. Came waddling out of there. And recovering it was patted down inside the 5 at about the 3. With 1 second remaining in the half. And so the Flyers obviously will take it and fall down on it. And they don't even get it underway as the clock is run out. Is that possible? I guess. That is the end of the first half. With the score then, the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets 20, the Lake Flyers nothing. We're at halftime here at Perrysburg High School on the south side of Toledo. The Lake High School Marching Band performing for us. And he is hit, and he is knocked down there. And it'll be first down and 10 yards to go for Lake High at that point.
I don't know who donated that. It was an ice cream pie, Jerry.
It was an ice cream,
Obviously, you're not a connoisseur of pies, and I think I lead the league in that department, and that was an ice cream pie, and it was delicious.
An ice cream pumpkin pie. Well, Tom, when it comes to fine foods and wines, there is no one that you are unequaled when it comes to being a connoisseur along that line. I guarantee you that. All right, your quarterback remains in there. The Brosia, the tight end, and he pitches back to Patton, who tries to turn the near corner, gets it out to maybe the 23-yard line, the 24-yard line, where he is hit and brought down there by Greg Como.
The biggest problem, Jerry, is the fact that Lake's passing offense is nullified. Ackenberger has a strong arm for a sophomore, and we've yet to see Brosia throw, and we don't really know what he can do, but obviously he has not had a great opportunity to practice.
Give him the 24 where it's second down and 6 yards to go. It's the wishbone tee, and he pitches back here and trying to go wide left this time and getting a little bit of daylight out over the 25 into about the 29-yard line goes Kevin Hughes. And Hughes is tripped up and brought down there by Swede, along with Whitner and Dennis, the right side of that defensive line for Perrysburg. It is third down and about a yard and then some to go. It's at the 29-yard line. He has to get to the 30, or just over the 30-yard line. And we have 10.5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter, and it's 20-0 in favor of Perrysburg over the Lake Flyers. They move out, sweep student body right and left, and just basic football and pound it out as best they can.
That's their first down since the first quarter, Jerry.
9:59 to go, third quarter. Clock is rolling and out wide to the right. Here's Gary Baker. Rosie is the quarterback at his own 31-yard line, and he pitches back here and trying to turn the corner, and this time he can't do it. He got it back to about the 29-yard line. He being Kevin Hughes, the wingback. There's a flag on the play, and we may have had a late hit. That was a dead ball foul, I believe. Now let's wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. Pure speculation on my part. Here to me it was a dead ball foul. It is a personal foul against Perrysburg, and that will be a walk-off.
Well, that's unfortunate because it was a fine defensive effort by, looked like Jay Swede, the defensive end. I don't know what happened over there in the melee, but I can tell you one thing. Perrysburg is marching back 15 yards and gives Lake their best field position in a long time.
At their own 45-yard line. Don't forget tomorrow, Toledo Bowling Green, 1 o'clock, kickoff at 1:30 Dwight Perry Field. There goes an emergency vehicle down I-75. Lake moving left to right. It's the wishbone tee, and Rosio barks it out, and he pitches back here to Patton. He's at the 45, and to the 46-yard line, and that's about it. To about the 46-yard line, and that'll be it. And on the tackle for Perrysburg was Kokonakis on the tackle. A gain on the play of a couple of yards. It'll be second down, 8 yards to go for Lake now in the white uniforms of the blue helmets at their own 46-yard line.
Phil Kokonakis is the monster or stinger in the Perrysburg defensive alignment, and he came up real well to put a fine tackle on the ball carrier.
Now Baker out wide to the left. Wishbone tee in the backfield. Open field is to the left of the expressway side. Rosier, reverse pivot. Good night. John Swede getting through and putting the wraps on the young quarterback. Back here at the 45-yard line. They'll say his knee went down at the 46. And that will bring up third down in about 12.
Defensive strategy by the Perrysburg Yellow Jackets probably will dictate a good deal of stunning, a good deal of blitzing to really confuse the Lake offense even more.
Coming up to 8 minutes of the third quarter, 20-0 in favor of Perrysburg. Slot right in the backfield. Rosia has not put it in the air yet, and he's back to throw the football. He throws it down, it's incomplete, and the man was wide open at the 40-yard line, and he threw it well.
Yes,
wide open was Baker in the pattern at the 40-yard line, and Baker upset with himself because the ball was thrown right on the money.
And there was pressure on Brosia, and he really fired a frozen rope. That was a catchable pass. Okay, fourth down. We've got Todd Robeson back in punt formation. Deep receivers are David Neal for Perrysburg.
Snap. Kick, flag on the play, high end over ender. No fair catch called for. We may have an interference here, I'm sure we do. No fair catch called for by Neal. He had to be given an opportunity to catch the football, but Randy Karras, in his anxiety to pop it out of there, did exactly that, and I'll tell you, it took a lot of courage on the part of Mr. Neal to take that blow. He had the wind knocked out of him a little bit.
Great concentration. We also had a flag back where the punter was kicking.
That's right. Penalty is against Lake High. Now let's see what's going to transpire here now with two flags on the play. Toledo Bowling Green tomorrow, Dwight Perry Field. They're talking about 20,000 in the wind tunnel. In the wind tunnel, it's supposedly going to be because our weather prognosticator is calling for temperatures at about 58 degrees, an overcast day, and wind at about 25 miles an hour. That ought to be something else.
Jerry, I think we might have a hold or illegal procedure on Lake in the backfield. We also had interference on Lake on the punt. Perrysburg has declined both penalties. On oddly enough, and will take over on their own 33-yard line.
Well, it appears that Pheasant's going to be back in there at quarterback now at the 33-yard line of Perrysburg with 8 minutes remaining third quarter. 20-0 the Jackets lead. That was the halftime score. There's the whistle, as you can hear in the crowd, Mike, and we're about set to go. And the moon has come out again.
I don't understand why they declined those penalties.
They'd have had to make them punt over again, right, Tom? Accepting it, and probably would have gotten better field position. But nevertheless, back to work. Pheasant is your quarterback, and he's got him in the I formation at his own 33-yard line. And he goes straight ahead, and running the football is Gumminger, and he got the football, Gumminger that is, out over to the 35, and that'll be it. A couple of yards in the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8. And on the tackle for Lake High School was Dan Cannon. 7:45 to go, third quarter, 20-0 Perrysburg. And with the play for the Jackets is Davy Neal. And Neal deployed out wide to the right. Slot right in the backfield. Open field is to the right as Perrysburg moves right to left across your dial. Pheasant, the starting quarterback, is in there. Little pop pass, complete to the big tight end. He gets away from 1 man at the 40 to the 45-yard line, and that's all. However, that little pop pass is complete to Rob Hull. And Hull carries the mail across the 40 to the 45, where he's brought down there by Dan Cannon once again. That's a 1st and 10 for Perrysburg.
Jerry, that pass looked a little bit like a put in track, a shot put, and fine lob over outstretched lineman hand, and Rob Hall gathered in for the first down.
Now Mike Ryan out wide to the right. Slot right in the backfield, and now Johnson in motion to the left, and he keeps the football. He being Pheasant, the quarterback, and he got it to the 46, and that's it. A gain of a yard down the tackle. Brett Farley, give him 1. 2nd and 9, Perrysburg at their own 46, with 6:50 remaining here in the third quarter. And it's 20-0 in favor of the Jackets of Perrysburg. The Yellow Jackets putting a little sting into their...
Jim Heilman back in at quarterback, Jerry. Maybe Steve Pheasant was shaken up in the first half.
Heilman then is in, and Ryan is out wide to the right. Slot right in the backfield. Johnson's the slot man. And Heilman calling signals, and Heilman pitches back here. And trying to turn the corner is Gumminger at the 45, at the 50, at the 45, at the 40, and down he goes at the 39-yard line. Carrying with him Westcott.
Well, I tell you, Jerry, a fine pitch sweep by Perrysburg, running inside the right offensive end. Again, student body right. Fine running by Gomminger. Boy, I tell you, that young man can pick him up and lay him down.
1st and 10, Yellow Jackets at the flyer. 39-yard line. Slot right in the backfield. Open field is to the left. Heilman barking out the signals, and he gives it to his fullbacks. Ooh, there was a great hit in there on Como, and I'll tell you, he got his neck jarred just a little bit inside that 30 to about the 20. Now, hold on. Let's check the yard marker now. That's the 36.
36, right, Jerry.
2nd and 7. The pickup on the play of 3. The left side of the Lake line in on the tackle. Lance Taylor, the first man.
Excuse me, Jerry. Give credit to Lake. They're still hitting out there. They're still giving it their all.
Johnson out wide to the left. Eye in the backfield, and Heilman is your quarterback. Barking out the signals, and he pitches back here, and trying to turn the corner is Gumminger at the 30, at the 25. And he's hit and ridden down on a fine defensive play by Todd Robson. Or Robeson, if you will. They're going to spot the ball at the 32-yard line of Perrysburg, where it will be 3rd down now and about 4. 3rd and about 4. Clock is running, 4:59 remaining third quarter, 20-0 in favor of Perrysburg over Lake High. This is Jerry Kyle, Tom Gateau from Perrysburg High School. Nice to have you along on it turned out to be a rather pleasant evening. The rain has stayed away, and that's good news. And however, the wind has picked up. Can't wait to go to Dwight Perry Field tomorrow. And it'll be fun. Mr. Spangler and David Ridgway in action. Pop pass, overthrown. And a little bit low for the intended receiver, Johnson, at the 15-yard line.
Heilman straightened up as Steve Pheasant has. Led Mr. Johnson just a little bit too much on a slant-in pattern.
That stops the clock. The clock is stopped, and with 4:41 to go, it's back to work. Heilman drops back to throw the football. Fakes once, in trouble, flushed out, and he's hit and brought down from behind. right around the 32-yard line. And good defensive play that time, Tom, by Lance Nicely. What you're hearing, Tom, in the crowd, Mike, we've got some transistor radios out there in the stands tonight. We're getting a little feedback.
I see. I thought maybe we were having some kind of ghost up here.
No. We appreciate the fans bringing along their transistors. It's a lot of fun to watch and listen to all the play-by-play on WSPD. And you'll be able to hear it all tomorrow between Bowling Green and the University of Toledo. 1 o'clock for our pregame activities. Tom and yours truly will take it about 5, 6, 7 minutes before kickoff, and kickoff at 1:30 from Dwight Perry Field. Hope to see you there. Great thing to have a great crowd on hand.
Thinking of what those noises were, I thought Halloween with maybe chains were next. The poltergeist dragging chains.
Well, Halloween's a few weeks off.
You never know. Quite honestly, Jerry, Lake High School has had their backs to the wall. This particular drive, it looked like Perrysburg might have an opportunity to capitalize again, but Lake's done real well in hanging in there tough, and they're taking over now on their own, what is that, 30-yard line.
20-25, that's the 30, yeah, let's call it the 30-yard line, keep it even. All right, back to work then at quarterback. Then is Brozia, and Brozia's back to throw. He unloads, and it's intercepted here at the 30, at the 25, at the 20, at the 15, at the about 12-yard line. Intercepting for Perrysburg High School, Glenn Sutton. He was hit and brought down.
Glenn Sutton, the wide side linebacker, leaped up, picked that pass out of the air, and rambled about 20 yards on the return. We might be asking Coach Chuck Pratt to put him at fullback next week.
Well, that's let's make it the 14-yard line, and Pheasant is back at quarterback, and he splits his setbacks. And he's back to throw, unloads in the end zone, alley-oop, and out of bounds. Oh, he hit the pylon at the back line. Well, you won't see that happen very often. The ball hit squarely the pylon at the back line, and they'll set it back up. That was the alley-oop pass. He just dropped back about 2 steps and lofted it high of the end zone. It was intended for Davy Neal, his split end. 3:50 to go, third quarter. 20-0 Perrysburg over Lake. And the clock, of course, is stopped. Johnson is out wide to the right. Neal is out wide to the left. It's an eye in the backfield. Como and Gomminger. Dozen calling signals at the Lake 14-yard line. He gives to Gomminger at the 15, at the 10, and down to about the 8-yard line. Taylor there to get him. They'll mark it the 8.
That was a 5th turnover for Lake High School this evening. 4 fumbles and 1 interception. And, you know, you just can't get any kind of offense going when you have the propensity to turn the ball over that many times.
Stan Dennis is in for the Yellow Jackets, and out comes Neal, and we have what amounts to 2 tight ends. And now Perrysburg going into a power I in the backfield. Running formation. Heilman is the quarterback. And we have movement, and Lake pointing to Perrysburg's left offensive guard. And it is a legal procedure. They don't even let the play get going. And you can hear perhaps that pounding. Well, those are not the goblins coming out. Those are the coaches up above us in the booth.
Boy, it really is frustrating when you have a 3rd down key situation, and when your linemen break the count when they know what the starting count is.
Well, now it's back to the original line of scrimmage, the 14, where it's 3rd and 10 for the first down and 14 for the TD. Clock is rolling, and now we're back to the slot right. Johnson is in the slot, and calling signals is Heilman. And Heilman pitches back, and trying to get outside is Gomminger at the 15, and it's closed down in a big hurry right around the 10. That'll bring up a 4th. Good defensive job. You've got to give credit to these Lake Flyers. They are gutting it out, sticking in there, knowing that their offense has been sorely hampered by the loss of their starting quarterback, Rick Hockenberger.
Well, Jim Jacoby, the left guard, is coming out on a gimpy ankle. That will cause some adjustment problems in the Perrysburg offensive line.
Well, it's 4th down and 10 back there at the 14. They're not going for the field goal, so obviously going for the first down. Neal is right, Johnson left. Eye in the backfield, and let's check the quarterback for you. And delay a game, obviously. That'll move it back from the 14 out to the 19-yard line. 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. It is 20-0. Perrysburg leading the Lake Flyers. Perrysburg High School on the south side of Toledo. We look out over I-75. Not too much traffic out there tonight. Old Glory fluttering in the breeze. At game time, it was just hanging limp on the flagpole. Pardon me, eye in the backfield, and rolling back to runner throw. Heilman at the 20, at the 15, and slips and goes down right around the 14-yard line, and so Lake will take over there.
Looked like a run-pass option to the left, Jerry. All the receivers were covered. Plenty of blocking downfield, so he just set sail for the goal line, tried to cut inside of a tackler, and slipped and fell. And Lake will take over on their own 13-yard line.
It is the 13 indeed, and the clock is winding with 1.5 minutes remaining third quarter. 20-0 Perrysburg. Over Lake. And again, we'll check to make sure the quarterback is who we think it is. Number 11, that's who it is, Jim Brozia. He splits his setbacks, and he has Patton back there. And the wishbone tee, and a pitch back to Patton. Coming inside, outside, and gets it up over the 10 to about the 15-yard line, where he's brought down there. And a good defensive play by Swede. Sutton was there. The ball is spotted at the 16-yard line. A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Again, Perrysburg jumped into the 6-man front, 6-1 defense. Jay Swede shot the gap between the left guard and center, tracked the ball carrier down for, it looked like a 3-yard gain.
You're right. Out over the ball is Greg Stout. Rozier is the quarterback. The wishbone tee is there. And he reverse pivots and hands off, and a great hit put on by the left side of that Perrysburg line. Trying to get out of there with the football was Hughes, and he got it back to about the 16, and that's it. Como and Swede, Sutton, Glenn and John all there to close it down. It'll bring up a 3rd down and still about 7 yards to go with only 25 seconds remaining third quarter. Perrysburg leading 20-0. That was the halftime score. Time for probably this play. That'll end the quarter. It's a 3rd down situation. Lake on their own 16-yard line of the near hash mark. And again, the Flyers come out into, this time, the I with twin flankers out wide to the left. Rozier, your quarterback, and he rolls back to run a throw. He's in trouble, unloads it sideline left, and it is complete. Upfield it goes, and out of bounds across the far side. Making the reception was Kevin Hughes.
It's a 1st down, Jerry.
And that ends the quarter. So that is the end of the third quarter with a score, Perrysburg 20, Lake nothing.
Right now at Aga Interiors and Imports, you can save 20% off all upholstered furniture during the Pennsylvania House Fall Sale. 20% off elegantly styled wing chairs, sofas, and graceful love seats. 20% off convenient coordinated sleep sofas. Everything can be yours in a choice of 800 beautiful fabrics, and most can be delivered in time for Christmas if you order now. So come in now during the Pennsylvania House Fall Sale and get your free collector's book at Aga Interiors and Imports in Perrysburg.
For over 46 years, the Lorraine Oil Company has served northwestern Ohio as the distributor for Pennzoil, the asked-for motor oil because it's worth asking for. The Lorraine Oil Company, like high school football, is a great tradition in northwestern Ohio. Trust Pennzoil products from Lorraine. Dial 352-1633 in Bowling Green or 691-3545 in Toledo. The Lorraine Oil Company and high school football, 2 great traditions in northwestern Ohio.
We start the fourth quarter in a pitchback, and Hughes breaks a little containment there at the 30-yard line and gets it out to about the 33. He was hit and brought down by Glennie Sutton, but not before he penetrated at about the 33-yard line. The initial line was the 29. Give him about 4 yards. Make it the 34-yard line. Give him 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 for Lake now at their own 34. With 11 minutes remaining in the football game, 20-0 Perrysburg. Rozier is your quarterback for the injured Ockenberger, and a pitch back to the short side, and Hughes turns the corner, gets it out over the 35 to about the 36, right down below. And the first man there for the Yellow Jackets was Don Whitner. They'll spot the ball at the 36-yard line of Lake. And there's an injured player down here, and I'm not sure, because we are being blocked out by the Perrysburg player standing along the sideline, and he is the player on the field of play, so obviously we cannot continue play. It's going to be third down and about 2 for Lake at their own 36 when we get back to action here. And again, I've got to give a lot of credit, Tom Gateau, to the Lake Flyers for hanging tough in there in this football game, considering the injury to their starting quarterback, Rick Ockenberger, who, after he went down, the offense of Lake, of course, really had a problem getting going, understandably so, with the youngster Jim Brosey in there.
Jim Brosey has had a large order to fill because field position-wise, they've started off on their 13, their 20 again, their 5, 35, and it's just really difficult to get any kind of consistent offense going when you have to work out of your own backyard. Brosey has been doing an outstanding job in this particular drive. They've picked up their second first down since Ackenberger went out. They've got an opportunity to pick up a third here, a third and a couple yards to go.
Injured player being helped off, seems to be all right, however. Never like to see anybody get injured.
That's middle guard Jay Swede, who's been playing an outstanding football game. Probably got the wind knocked out of him.
Here's that third down possession play now with the ball at the 36-yard line of Lake, where it is third down and about 2 yards to go, and they're in the wishbone tee. Open field to the right side. Brosier calling signals, and he pitches back to Patton at the 30, trying to get outside, turns the corner, has the first down up at about the 41-yard line. And there's an injured Lake player here right down below us, shaken up on the play. That's a first, however, and 10.
Mark Patton, the tailback in the Lake offensive scheme, really, I think he's got a fine future ahead of him. He's a good-sized young man who stands 6'1", 170 pounds. He's as a sophomore, as I said, and he's got great speed. I was talking to Coach Jim Smith prior to the game, and I guess he was timed at 4.7 in the 40 in preseason drills. So he's got a good future ahead of him. Just too bad that the Lake can't get some offense generated to feature him in this particular game, this particular quarter.
Robson shaking up on that play, but he seems to be okay. It's first and 10 for Lake now at their own 41-yard line, trailing 20-0. Brosier with him in the wishbone tee. He's back to throw the football on first down. There's the bomb, and the man is there, and it's complete out here at the 30, at the 25, and he's down right around the 23-yard line. And on the reception was Dale West, the big tight end.
Dale West came from that tight end position to the wide side of the field, ran a down and a little out pattern, and I'll tell you something, Jim Brosier might be a tight end on the program, but that young man can rifle the football. That pass was about 40 yards in length.
Well, it's at the 24, first and 10 for Lake. The wishbone tee. Brosier seems to be getting a little more confidence here as the game rolls along. A pitch back here and trying to turn the corner, and he got it back to the line of scrimmage. He being Hughes. He was wrestled out of bounds. A lot of enthusiasm by Perrysburg that time on defense. Don Whitner led the attack. No gain. Second and still about 10 at the 24-yard line of Perrysburg. 10 minutes. And the clock is stopped for the out-of-bounds play. 20-0 Perrysburg leading. 10 minutes. That's all that's left. Twin flankers out wide to the right. Baker. And he is joined out there by Hughes. And back to throw Brosier. He's looking, unloads it. Man is there. It's complete across field at the 20 and inside to about the 17-yard line. And on the tackle across the far side of the field was Swede of Perrysburg, but that was a cross-country or post pattern. And the reception was made, and they say, Tom, actually he went down his knee at the 16-yard line. So it's third down and about 3, a gain of about 7.
Jim Brosier is not what you classify as a classic passer, but he really is getting the job done in this drive.
Yes, he is, and it'll be third and about 3 now. Wishbone tee. Watch for Patton in this one. They like to run the sweep to the short side with Patton at the 20, and he's driving, and he's shoved back to about the 19, and where did he penetrate? That's the question. Did he get down in there around the 15 or 14? No. About the 16. Well, I like to go to Patton on that pitchback sweep, and they did maybe once too often this time, and there's a Perrysburg Yellow Jacket shaken up, and you don't think they're still hitting down there. They are both ways. It'll bring up a 4th down now at about 4 at the 17-yard line at Perrysburg with 9:12 left in the football game. 20-0 Perrysburg leading Lake. That was the halftime score.
Looks like it might be a contact problem, or I hope that's all it is. I'm looking at the young man's face. I think they might have it squared away. I think it's exactly what it was, Jerry. He'll have to come out of the game because they called an official's timeout for
contact lens, Tom?
Yes. That was Jay Swede, brother of Jace and John.
Now the clock is rolling as we hear near the 9-minute mark. And here's that 4th down now at about 4 at the 17 of Perrysburg. Rosia calling signals. They may be coming. Perrysburg. Let's watch. Open field left. He rolls short side of the field. Unloads it sideline. It's complete, I believe. And if it is, what a great catch by Kevin Hughes in traffic along the far sidelines down around that 10-yard line. Outstanding catch.
Kevin Hughes really has been a bright spot for the Lake offense. He's come up with some clutch catches, and Brossia has to be a kind of a shining star in an otherwise dismal evening for the Lake Flyers.
Particularly offensively. It's 1st and goal inside the 10 at about the 9.5. Wishbone tee, open field left. Rosia calling signals. Hands back, looks, pumps, end zone, tipped incomplete. Threw it up for grabs. 2 receivers down there in the end zone. I believe it was intended for Baker. A lot of congestion down there, however.
In defense of Jim Brossia, when he went back and tried to set up, throw that pass, his back foot slipped, and he was in the process of throwing the football and overshot his mark.
Looks like we're going to have a timeout here, so a timeout and a final timeout on the field then with the score. Perrysburg 20, Lake nothing.
When you stop and consider your family's future financial security, a savings account is the best way to prepare yourself for whatever may happen throughout the years. At Maumee Perrysburg Home Federal, all savings accounts earn 5.5% interest, and the earnings are computed and compounded daily, paid quarterly. Start planning for your future soon with an active savings account at Maumee Perrysburg Home Federal. We'll look forward to helping you achieve your goals.
Cold? All right, Tom, the Flyers called the timeout to talk it over here. They have it 2nd down and goal at about the 9.5 of Perrysburg. They trail 20-0. They want to get things squared away here. Now they'd like to get something up on that scoreboard.
Now, again, thinking about Kevin Hughes at that flanker position, you might look for him to run something of an out pattern or flag pattern. They've got the whole near sideline to work with. They're on the far hash mark, the ball being on the I-75 side of the field. We'll see what happens here.
All right, leading him up then is Brossia with a slot right of the backfield. Open field is to the left, to the press box side, and he's back to roll and throw or run, and he's in trouble, and he is going to be ring around the rosy. Boy, he just got him, he being Greg Como by the jersey, and swung him around and laid him to the gridiron. Fancy meeting you here. All the way back to the 19, where it is 3rd and goal.
Lake set the slot to the short side of the field. They tried to run a crossing pattern in the end zone, and Jim Brossia sprinted out to his right, was pressured right off the bat by Como and brought down for a loss.
Baker is out wide to the right. It's a slot back. Slot in the backfield and back to throw. Sets up over the middle. It's complete. Hughes, 15, inside at the 10 and down to about the 9. Got it back to the initial line of scrimmage. That'll be 4th and goal at about the 9. Tripping him up was Glenn Sutton. And the clock is rolling, and we're nearing the 7-minute mark.
And again, running that slot formation to the short side of the field, they had Kevin Hughes in the slot, a little delay pattern, ran a little drag across the middle of the field. Fine pass by Brossia, but still they're 10 yards. Well, they're
about 9.5.
9.5 away from pay dirt.
That's really back at the initial line of scrimmage where it's 4th and goal. Baker out wide to the right. Now Now it's a wishbone tee. Rosia calling signals, open field, and to the express side, and back is Rosia. Looking, flushed out, and loads. End zone, it's tipped, it's in the air, it's incomplete. Oh, almost caught at the goal line.
Nice play by defensive halfback Jim Heilman.
And that negates what amounted to be the best drive that the Lake Flyers have had all night. As far as length of drive, where'd that start, Tom?
Started at the 13-yard line, Jerry.
Got it all the way down to the 9.5.
77-yard drive, but the ball will go over. Perrysburg now will know how it feels to have their backs against the wall as they take over on their own 9-yard line.
Heilman is your quarterback, and he has a slot left in the backfield. Como is up there, and Como gets the call over the left side on a slant play, and he gets it out over the 10 to about the 15, 16-yard line. Lance Taylor on the tackle. 6:59 left of the game, and it's pretty academic now. Perrysburg leading 20-0. They led to 20-0 at halftime. They have it on their own 16-yard line, so they have everything in their favor. They have the lead, they have the football, and they have the clock running. It is second down and about 3, a gain of 7 on that play. Heilman, your quarterback, he's played a great deal tonight for Pheasant. No particular reason other than Perrysburg had a good lead. Wishbone tee, a lot of faking going on in there, and it's handed up to the fullback, Como, straight ahead. And where did he get it? Well, he got it to about the 19-yard line.
He's close.
And there's some still heavy hitting going on in there, Tom.
Looks like they're gonna measure, Jerry.
Yeah, it's right around the 19, very close to a first down. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this one tonight. We'll be on hand next Friday with another in our series of Friday night football for you. But tomorrow we hope to see you at Dwight Perry Field for the Toledo Bowling Green game. Broadcast time at 1 o'clock, kickoff at 1:30. If you can't make it, tune in 1370 radio, and if you can make it, take along your transistor. It's a lot of fun to watch and listen to all the play-by-play action. UT football.
Sure, they're just short by inches.
All right, it's third and inches then at the 19, we'll call it. 6 minutes remaining in the football game. Heilman calling signals in the I formation, and he pitches back and trying to get outside, running that football, and he's looking for a hole as Gumminger. And Gumminger is able to get it out over the 20 to about the 23-yard line, and that's good for the first down. On the tackle was Chris Abbey for Lake High. 5:59 left in the game. Tom, we notice that the fans in the stands are bundled up tonight. They got their sit-upons down there and their jackets.
Sit-upons and
wraparounds and their hats on. That wind is, I don't blame them a bit, kicked up a little bit, and it's damp out there. And we're lucky to be up on the press box where there's shelter. First and 10, Peaburg at their own 23. And there's a handoff to the tailback over the left side, and there's a good hit out there at the 25-yard line. That's Jim Priest running in there now. Right side of that lake line. The first man there to get him was Randy Karras. We're nearing the 5-minute mark. It's 20-0 in favor of Perrysburg, apparently having their 6th victory well secured here tonight. They were number 1 in the computer poll in Region 6, Perrysburg, with 40 computer points. This will not hurt the cause, Tom.
No, it won't, Jerry. With the exception of Lake only has 2 wins.
Pitch back, Priest again, looking for some running room at 25, and he's still running out to the 30 and maybe the 32, way across the far side of the field. Good individual effort that time by Priest, and he got it very close to a first down, out around the 32. On the tackle was Lance Taylor. They're going to say third and about a half a yard to go for that first down. And, of course, all this eating up the clock. Perrysburg leading 20-0. 4:38 left in the football game, and the Jackets have the football moving left to right. And Heilman is your quarterback, and he's got him bunched up there now in the power eye. And he gives to Priest straight ahead over the left side, and he's got the first down out around the 35-yard line. And he was tripped up over there by Robson. And a player shaken up on the play.
Looks like another Yellow Jacket.
It's at the 35. And they're still hitting out there.
35-yard line, tackle by Hammond.
Hey, these boots feel pretty good tonight. Real warm. Tom and I got our boots on that we got out in Phoenix, Arizona back a couple of weeks ago when we went out with the Rockets. A little bit of the Western look here tonight.
you do what you have to do, partner. And when it's cold and windy, you got to dress for the occasion.
Right on.
Oh, wait a minute. They don't say that out west, do they?
Oh, really? That's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too much shin for them.
That's too hep.
All right.
You do look like you ought to be in a cigarette commercial. Where's your tattoo?
Well, the player's still down, Tom, and our game tonight, excuse me just a moment, has been brought to you with the best wishes of the Lorraine Oil Company, along with Home Federal Savings and Loan.
Coach Jim Smith has to be somewhat pleased with the performance of his young men. You know, they were down 20-0 at halftime, and they have battled gallantly this second half and have refused to yield up a touchdown after an interception. Perrysburg took over on the Lake 14. They hung in there tough and took over on their own 13. So they do have a great deal of grit on that far sideline, and of course they are the champions, the defending champions, and they're playing like it this second half.
Aga Furniture in Perrysburg, one of our fine sponsors tonight. We appreciate having them along, and we still have a delay here for the injured player. Don't forget the CBS Mystery Theater coming up at along about 10:05 tonight. Four minutes and 25 seconds remaining in this football game. That's it. It's 20-0 in favor of Perrysburg. That was the halftime score. And we have the trainers out for Perrysburg, and the injured player is Jim Priest. And Priest is being helped up now. And we'll get a nice hand from the crowd down below here on the home side. Being helped off, but
he took a pretty good shot in there, and he's a little wobbly coming off, but he'll be all right.
Talking to him, he'll be all right.
He'll be ready for the dance, no question about that.
Slot left in the backfield. Heilman with a man in motion to the right. That's Johnson. Pitch back here. And a great defensive play on Gumminger all the way back here at the 26-yard line as they shot the gaps that time. And excellent defensive play. Yeah, Westcott.
Westcott, the left defensive end. Red sweep very well. Was not to be blocked. Had good block protection, brought the ball carrier down for a big loss.
Well, that brings up a second down and 18 now. And again, Perrysburg back to work, and the clock is rolling. We're under 4 minutes. A little quick trap up the middle. And for 2-3 yards out over the 25 to about the 29-yard line. And running the football that time, we want to give the youngster credit, was Troy Heckman. And on the tackle, Dan Cannon. That brings up third down. Third and about 16. Third and about 16 to go. Eye on the backfield. Heilman is your quarterback. And he pitches back here and trying to turn the corner, but it's not there. And making a fine defensive play was Westcott once again.
Westcott and Todd Robson cleaned up along with Lance Taylor. Again, Westcott read that sweep very well. And, you know, you'll think back to the first quarter. Had Lake played with this kind of intensity in the first and second quarters, this might be an entirely different football game.
Amen. Back to do the punting then. Swede standing at about the 14. He gets a soft snap, and it was almost blocked, but he gets it away. Good high hang time kick, but it takes a reverse bounce, and it's down.
At about flag down, Jerry.
All right, down at about the 47-yard line of Perrysburg, and there's a flag on the play. 2:27 left in the game.
Thrown by the head linesman. It might be offsides. Oh, no, illegal procedure against Perrysburg. Lake will decline it and take over.
Yeah, because I would think, because they're going to have good field position here. Well, actually, Tom, that's the 44-yard line.
That is the 44, right. The Perrysburg 44-yard line.
And so I would believe that Lake will decline. They do. The defensive unit out here now for Perrysburg, and out comes the offense for the guys in white, the Lake Flyers. All right. It's at the 44 of Perrysburg, and Lake trailing 20-0 with 2:20 remaining in the game, and the clock is running.
This is the best field position Lake has had all evening to start an offensive drive.
Because he is your quarterback, he has a slot right in the backfield, and you can be sure that he'll put the football up here now, and he rolls back to run or throw. He steps up, sideline left, and it's almost intercepted. Almost intercepted down there at the 30-yard line. Good defensive job there by Johnson. Bring it back, make it 2nd and 10. Clock is stopped with the incompleted pass.
That time, Brossia threw the ball into heavy traffic. The receiver cut inside and had 2 defenders in front of him.
They break out of it now with a slot right in the backfield. Ball is between the hashes, if there were hash marks, and he's back. Look out, Sackaroo back inside the 45 at about the 44-yard line. Coming through was Greg Como. 1:49, the clock continues to roll, and that'll be 3rd down now and 15, about 18 yards to go for that first down. It's at the 47-yard line of Lake. And Lake with the 3rd down situation facing them here in long yardage. At their own 47, and we're coming to the 1-minute mark. That's it. Out wide to the left for the Flyers. Welch, high in the backfield. Rozier, the quarterback. And he drops back to throw the football up the 40. Screen pass out of the backfield, overthrown. It was intended for Mark Patton. That'll bring up a 4th and 18.
Now, that particular offensive series was kind of emblematic of the problems that they being the Lake Flyers were having in the first half and on into the 3rd quarter. Well, Lake's get anything going.
Lake's not going to punt. They're going to go for it here. Why not? Trailing 20-0 with 1 minute and 12 to go. 4th down, 18 to go at their own 47, and a timeout is called. I believe officials are waving their hands. They're saying Lake has called a timeout.
Someone was missing in that lineup there. They only had 10 men, and the center raised up and asked for timeout in order to get that play squared away. They were lined up in the T formation, and I had a sneaking suspicion that they might have been going with a quick kick, Jerry. And it's kind of tough to kick a football when you're 1 man short. Who, of course, have a lot of experience in that area.
What's that? Quick kicking or playing with 1 man short?
A little bit of both.
Most of the crowd staying right with us here. I've got to believe it's a little brisk outside.
Nippy is definitely the word.
There's a nip in the air. 1 minute and 12 remaining. And I noticed that, as we said earlier, the wind has picked up. There was virtually no wind at all when we started this game at 8 o'clock tonight, but since about 8:30, about a half hour into the game, that wind, we noticed Old Glory starting to pick up and flutter and blow out now as that wind comes out of the southwest at probably about 15. Here's the fake punt. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, and down, and he does not make the first down. There was the fake punt by Rupson, and he got it down to what appears to be about the 36-yard line. He'll miss it by about 1.5 yards.
Well, I'll tell you, that young man has some speed.
Yeah.
He's a junior, stands 6'3", weighs 220. Better mark his name down for the Rocket Recruiters.
1 minute left in the game. 20-0 Perrysburg. They led at halftime, 20-0. And we may see some new youngsters in there now for the Yellow Jackets, getting a little experience.
Well, they have a new quarterback.
That
Joe
probably is Calabrese. 45 seconds, clock rolling. Time for a couple of plays. And they line up in a slot right. Calabrese calling signals, and he's back to run or throw the football at the 35, to the 40, to the 45. It hit and brought down from behind, up around the 50-yard line. And on the tackle for the Lake Flyers was Dan Kennan. 30 seconds remaining. That's a 1st and 10. And now we'll get that unit out and get a new unit in. A little playing time here. That's Jim McMorgan, 5'7", 156-pound sophomore quarterback.
Tackled by Cannon.
Ball is at the midfield stripe. 20-0 in favor of Perrysburg over Lake here. And we have a lot of...
Now we have a flag, Jerry.
Oh, that will nullify a fine effort.
Even the chain crew got a little bit excited. They moved the sticks, and we didn't see any indication coming from the referee. But there's the penalty against Perrysburg. It'll be a walk-off of approximately 15 yards.
Now that'll put it down inside the 25 to the 20. Right there at the 20-yard line.
We got a clip.
All right. Calabrese is your quarterback. 30 seconds remaining. I'm looking up to Harvest Moon again, and boy, it's out in all its splendor now.
Boy, you are a romantic, aren't you?
Well, it's just a beautiful sight. Got the binoculars out there, and back to action we are at the 20-yard line with Calabrese calling signals. He hands off straight ahead, running the football as Priest out over the 20 to about the 25-yard line. And the clock is running with 12 seconds, and that probably will end the football game. And Perrysburg has picked up. Here's the count off. There you have it. The Perrysburg Yellow Jackets winning their 6th of the season by the score of 20-0 over the Lake Flyers here. Hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. And our thanks to you, as always, Tom Gateau, the old coach, with us, and of course will be with us tomorrow down in Bowling Green land, Falcon land, for Toledo and Bowling Green. And until we meet, we're getting some shots. I just had a Bowling Green.
Wait a minute. Where is that from? Some polytechnic institution?
Some polytechnic institution with colors of orange and burnt brown. I'm not sure where. It's kind of a cute little thing.
It probably is not from a place of higher learning.
Unless you would be referring to the Harvard of I-75.
No, the Harvard of the Midwest is on Bancroft Street.
Aha.
Let's get that straight right now.
For Tom, this is Jerry. Tom and Jerry saying from Perrysburg High School, stay tuned for the news, Mystery Theater. The final score then, Perrysburg 20, Lake nothing. Good night, everybody.
You are a promise. You are a possibility. You are a promise. You're a promise. A promise with a capital P. You're a great big bundle. A great big bundle of potentiality. You are a promise. You are a possibility. You are a promise with the capital P. You are a great big bundle of potentiality. And if you listen, you will hear God's voice and